However, Danny was not dead, but left an orphan to be rescued by sacred monks of the mystical Kunlun Monastery. Danny trained intensely for about 15 years with these monks to become an elite martial arts fighter. Through his training and skill, Danny was able to develop and master the skills needed to acquire the Iron Fist by summoning his chi. So the Iron Fist is an exceptional athlete, acrobat, hand-to-hand combat. He's the master of all of Kunlun's martial arts and many of Earth's, trained in the use of virtually all martial arts weapons. The Iron Fist is used to defeat the secret society called the Hand, an order of evil mystical ninjas who are heavily involved in organized crime and mercenary activities such as assassination plots. So, he only fights in self-defense under extreme circumstances when necessary. And after 15 years of being presumed dead, Danny returns to New York City homeless, dirty, and broke. He tries to tell people he is Danny Rand, but no one believes him. Eventually, he proves himself to be Danny Rand, but what a shock it was when everyone found out that not only was he who he said he was, but he was also the Iron Fist. During this duration of reclaiming his life and fighting for what was rightfully his, Danny becomes quite taken by Colleen Wing, a martial arts instructor who owns and lives in her studio, where she teaches martial arts to kids off the street. At first sight, Colleen was not interested in getting to know Danny. Her first impression of him was he's just a homeless guy in the park who thought he could do kung fu. But Danny actually pursued the friendship with her with much resistance. Eventually, Colleen felt sorry for Danny because he had nowhere to go, allowing him to stay with her temporarily. After being around each other and getting to know the real Danny, Colleen actually fell for him, which is how the story, The Iron Fist, relates to social penetration theory. So I think the Iron Fist is a relative to the social penetration theory in many ways, because who would have thought or believed that dirty, homeless, barefoot, stinky guy is a superior martial arts fighter from a rare elite group of monks? Who would believe Danny had the strength and power to transform into the Iron Fist? No one. No one believed Danny was even Danny. Danny did not share his secret of being the Iron Fist right away. He tried not to show his skills unless it was necessary. But once Danny became more comfortable with the person, his layers would peel back a little more and a little more. Once his friendship developed and grew, he was able to disclose more of himself, eventually falling in love and allowing full disclosure. Danny's relationship with Colleen is an example. Danny trusted and cared for her so much, eventually she was able to penetrate through his layers of self-disclosure. Not with the intentions to do so, but she was who Danny wanted to get to know. He wanted to share himself and his skills with her. So, the application, analysis, and implications. Stage 1, the orientation stage, comes out when Danny meets Colleen Wing in the park. So this is where I'm comparing the Iron Fist with the stages of the social penetration theory. So yeah, stage 1, he meets her in the park. Colleen was placing posters for her studio on the boards, advertisements, and she sees Danny practicing martial arts movements. Thinking he was a homeless man trying to give him money, she leaves a tip in his cup. Danny tries to return the money to her and she wouldn't take it. Stage 2, the exploratory affective stage, occurs when Danny looks at Colleen's flyers to find out where her studio is located. Danny goes to her studio and asks her to work for her in exchange for room and board. And initially she said no, she wasn't interested in becoming friends with Danny at all. But later has a change of heart when she sees Danny getting chased by ninjas and allows Danny to stay in the studio temporarily, leading to the third stage known as the affective stage. Danny and Colleen start to develop a friendship, and it starts off a little slow, but eventually they start bonding and developing a friendship. Colleen allows Danny to participate in her studio classes and starts to learn more about Danny's intriguing secrets. Danny reveals to Colleen he is a Rand from Rand Enterprises and also reveals to Colleen some of his expert martial arts moves. This was surprising and impressive to Colleen. This leads to stage 4, the stable stage, where even more personal and intimate relationship information is revealed. During this time, Danny has gained Colleen's trust and shared with her that he is the Iron Fist, sworn enemy of the Hand, and the only one who can defeat them. Danny and Colleen also developed a personal and intimate relationship, dating each other and eventually falling in love. I did have clips from the movie in here showing different parts of them getting to know each other and when they bonded and whatnot, but it's not playing right now. So, to sum it up, the relationship between Danny Rand and Colleen Wing mirrors the stages of the social penetration theory. They were initially strangers, briefly meeting in the park, leading to